there, people of the internet. So I wanted to talk to you about a thing today, and I don't really know where the hell this is going because this is just coming off the top of my head. So let me go ahead and throw out a disclaimer that, yeah, I haven't put a whole hell of a lot of thought into this, and I do fear that I may maybe speak something out into the world that's, maybe less than it should be. Like, you know, maybe less kind, less thoughtful than it should be. But you know what? I'm trying to do this whole thing where I'm trying to make a video every day or as often as I can here in the month of October. So I'm just gonna throw this out there with that disclaimer, and please, please, please know that I mean nothing but the best for everybody involved. Okay, throwing that out there. Now, so why haven't I talked about my divorce online? I actually just watched a video from Boogie2988, a fellow creator here on the YouTubes, where he's talking about his divorce, and he's all like, yeah, I've made a lot of videos about my divorce, but this is probably gonna be like the last one and stuff. And like, I have to give him a lot of props. He's actually talked through a big portion of the process, you know, of his divorce over the past year or so. And like, I gotta give him a huge bit of props because I couldn't have done that. I would have said something absolutely horrible. I probably would have, you know, slipped up and like gone all vengeful and been like, bah, 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 or whatever. Said something hurtful, etc. And as far as I can tell, through all the videos of his I've watched, he has remained super fair, super cool. Like, if I ever get divorced again, I want to divorce Boogie2988 because he never vilified his ex. He never, you know, from what I can tell of them interacting online, they're just really chill together. Like, they were both basically like, yeah, this just kind of needs to end. I mean, yeah, that doesn't make it a lot easier. I mean, I'm sure it makes it some easier, but it doesn't make it easy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A divorce is never easy. And the reason I never did was, though I didn't have a huge online following, I did have some dedicated fans at the time that I was sort of scared might go and try to, like, you know, hunt down my ex and say and do some things that they probably shouldn't say or do. Because let's face it, when it comes to a divorce, that's between those two people. Yeah, sometimes like friends and family can, you know, sort of nose their way in or whatever, and that's never good or fun. But you know, definitely, the internet should not, under any circumstances, get involved with, you know, matters of the heart between two people. You know, and I'm not talking about, like, you know, shipping where people, you know, they're like, oh my goodness, Jennifer Aniston is dating this guy and they're stuck together. Like, that's mostly positive and good. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, a divorce or a split or a breakup or whatever, like, that shit gets nasty. So that's not good. And I definitely didn't want that for my ex. You know, I also didn't know if I could handle it. I was in a very weird mental health place through all of that, and it took me, God, over a year to get over it, to get over everything. Because someone who hasn't gone through it, or maybe even some people who didn't have these circumstances, might not be able to identify. But for me, at least, it took me a very long time to get used to, like, sleeping alone. And I don't mean in a bow chicka wow wow way. I mean just in a, like, sleeping in a bed by myself way. I actually slept with, like, I slept on this couch thing that had a big, like it was a couch slash a futon, and it had this, like, part that normally went up against your back, but I used it as, like, a body pillow for the longest time because, like, I needed somebody to cuddle. And Yeah, I used that for like the longest time. And there were like these other million things. I was with my ex for like freaking forever in all kinds of different ways. Like, I think, what did we get together in, like, '07, and we split in 2015, or something like that. That was a long time. And a lot of my sort of stories involved her. So I'd be telling a story to a friend, a colleague, or a potential date type person, and it took me forever to stop using the words, my wife and I, my ex-wife and I, etc. I actually had to break that and just throw out there, I once went with a friend to Dollywood. And, that was because there's a certain social stigma of that divorced guy who just can't let go. Also, simply bringing it up caused me just a little bit of heartache. And also sort of social, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, anxiety. So I had to sort of retrain myself for that. And then, after I got out into the world and started doing things again, I had new stories. I had new things going on, which was amazing. Let's see, what else? So yeah. And I haven't really talked about it online because that's a very personal process. And I mean, it's now been 3+ years. It's not quite 4, 3+ years since I got divorced, and I am so totally over it. But there was a very hard time there for a while where I was doing things like crying in my bedroom at night because I was so unimaginably lonely. There were times where I just didn't know how to process things. And yeah, there were small wins. There were things where, I was like, I would never have been able to do this certain thing, insert thing here, if I were still married. I would never be able to move to the Philippines if I were still married. I would never be able to go wall climbing if I were still married. I would never have made these particular friends if I were still married. I would never have blah 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 blah. I would blah 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 blah. And those are great wins to have, and I'm glad that I had those. And they do, like, if you stop and you recognize them, they help a lot. But you do have to stop and recognize them. Because if you don't, everything sort of blends together. One of the biggest problems I have in life, if I don't stop and document it in some way, like, for instance, this vlog, sometimes I lose it. It kind of gets lost in the mush, in the muck, in, whatever. So, if you're going through a divorce, I'm sorry, or congratulations, depending. But I want you to know it's gonna be okay. There are a lot of sort of, weird archetypes out there, like, your one true love, whatever. I hate to be this guy, but that's kind of all bullshit. Yeah, some people are a lot more compatible than others, but, you're gonna find somebody else. That is, if you actually get out into the world. My biggest problem is I don't get out into the world. I work a lot. So finding a somebody is difficult sometimes. But anyways, yeah. I hope this video's been helpful for you in some way. I kind of don't want to sign off because I feel like there's more I can say. I may do a follow-up to this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what your worst breakup or divorce or whatever is like. I'm very actually interested to hear about it. Maybe it'll spark something and I'll be like, I got a story for that one. I don't know. Also, like, when it comes to a divorce, you know, or a split up or a breakup, try to remember that, generally speaking, forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself, not the other person. Forgiveness is something that will reap rewards in time. It's never easy. It's something you usually have to work for, and forgiving and forgetting are not the same thing. You can forgive someone and still be cautious. But definitely living in a world, like, metaphorically living in a world where you are holding something against someone constantly, it's not healthy. So, kick back, relax, try to get through whatever it is you're trying to get through, and when possible, if possible, where possible, forgive. Not for them, but for you. Because nobody needs that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, animosity in their life. Especially not from within. From without, you can usually try to defend from within, that can get in your head and that can kind of mess you up for a little while. Anyway, till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that make me love my job. Also, be awesome to yourself and amazing to each other. Wait, yeah, right here. That's the camera. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. There should, maybe if I had the opportunity, there should be like little things on screen for you to click. You should be stuff. Click. You should click stuff. Click this stuff. And I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna do it. And